We are live. So, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin podcast. Sandstorm, how you doing, man?
What's up, everybody? I'm doing great. Awesome time. We about to get ready for E3. Excited.
Yep. Andre.
I'm just here to make fun of people.
All right, Jack.
As you see, I'm prepped for E3. You know, I really didn't think I was going to be excited, but honestly, the closer it gets, I am getting excited for E3.
Yeah, okay, so this is our E3 show. Y'all know we usually do our little talk about it and all that other good stuff. So what I want to start off with is, what series do we think needs to have a good showing at E3? And I will go first for this one. Microsoft, y'all got to come with it on Halo.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This one needs...
Yes.
Okay, would it be wrong to say that they really ain't got nothing right now? Would it be wrong to say that?
They haven't shown anything.
I think the best way to put it is they're not ready to show what they have. I wouldn't say they don't have anything. I would just say they're not ready to show because, you know, my sources tell me that, you know, they have a lot in the bag ready to go, you know.
Oh, that
you
joke.
know.
Oh yeah, people. It's gonna be like that this whole episode. We're gonna be talking about our sources.
You know what I mean?
My source is usually very right.
Yeah.
Your source. Yours is the only source.
Yeah, you got a good source.
I don't know who your source is,
You got a
whatever
good
type
source.
of witchery or what type of stuff you sold off. But yeah, yours is on point.
Hey, Capcom, whatever Andre says, just go with it. It'll work. But yeah, to me, it's Halo. I want to see some more of Perfect Dark, but I'm scared. I'm so scared because I'm like, if they get this wrong, man, I'm gonna be so upset because I don't want. I be having nightmares about Perfect Dark Zero. Yeah.
No.
Now, if you want to now,
who's handling that?
I don't
know. We really don't know.
The freaking studio that everybody was talking about. Dag, I forget the name of the studio.
Looking it up right now.
Well, let me put it this way: anybody but Rare, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Because it was their studio that they put together that's actually working on Perfect Dark. I forget who it was, but yeah, I meant
the initiative. They called the initiative.
Okay.
I don't know who these people are.
I don't know about that one. Look, I'm sorry.
This is supposed to be the one that they piecemeal together.
When you got a grandiose name like that, I'm a little worried that your quality lacks.
Especially if this is the first time we really heard of you like that.
And it's their first game that they're doing. Hold on.
It's like think about it this way. It's kind of like the collaboration of the team that did Chrono Trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much they just took a whole bunch of great producers and developers and just put them on.
That
don't always work.
No, not at all.
Look, just like in football, you can't make a great team by just throwing together a bunch of talented players.
All the Patriots.
They gotta have time to work together.
Yeah, that's true. They do have to have time.
They should have put that team on a bunch of smaller projects first to let them get used to working together. Then starting off with a major IP like what Perfect Dark is.
Yeah.
That does not bode well. They are either going to make a great game or they are going to crap the bed so bad that no one's going to want to touch that franchise ever again. And if they do that, Microsoft, I'm sorry, y'all going to hear it from me.
Well, here's the messed up thing about this, because this article I just read, one of the senior designers left in February.
Yeah,
that is not good. So
he didn't like the way it was looking.
This is going down the route of Fable all over again.
Well, they have a problem already because, like you said, they didn't do any smaller titles, and the initiative has been around for a minute, and they were hyped up by Microsoft. So everybody's expecting a home run out the gate with the initiative.
Well, they need a home run. That's the problem is they need it. They don't have
Perfect Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
with Perfect Dark.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
If we talking like a team sport, and let's just go baseball here. If we was going baseball, they need to be able to get a base hit first before we can attempt to ask them for a home run.
Right.
Yeah.
And they ain't even stepped into the plate yet.
And to think they got put together and it says 2018.
Yeah. So
we'll
they
see.
didn't have enough. We're gonna
So
find
when
out.
did they start Perfect Dark then?
I want to say
Right.
2018. It had to
Probably.
be
They
2018
were
because
formed. I think they were formed to start Perfect Dark.
yeah, because
So
then 20
chances are we're gonna see it then.
we
Yeah.
should because 2019 we got that little teaser where they just showed
That's
her
right.
and
Yeah.
the pyramids and all of that, and
My
people got happy because it looked like N64 Perfect
Yeah.
Dark with the Pixie Bob hairstyle. So people
Right.
got happy, but I was like, I'm concerned because this ain't rare. I don't trust Microsoft because of Zero, and you might just be doing this just on purpose.
Look, hold on. Perfect Dark Zero, Battletoads,
Oh God, Battletoads.
Conquer,
Conker's the most egregious of that.
Banjo Kazooie. 4 franchises that y'all done had some really iffy stuff with.
Yeah. I don't know.
And Andre, I'm gonna be honest. I remember you saying this a long time ago. If they ain't gonna do nothing with it, just give it back to Nintendo.
They should have.
Just
They
give it back to
should've.
Nintendo.
Yeah,
like
but they don't want it.
I don't want it.
They
I
don't
mean,
want it.
honestly, when you look at Microsoft, right? I'm thinking about what is necessary for you to show at E3 at least this year, because like you said, 22, 23 studios. At some point, we got to see something. So for sure, Halo has to show up. Halo, whether it's multiplayer, single player, it has to show up. One, kind of save face because of the whole debacle before.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to make people feel confident that it's not going to get delayed and is actually coming out this year. And then you also have this situation with now you've added Perfect Dark to this whole, situation. And then also you got what is it? The what was the other game that they kept pushing? Anything that Bethesda has coming out because people are talking about Starfield.
Oh man, that's the one.
There's a lot of games that they've teased that they honestly haven't shown. You haven't shown for the new Forza, the Gunk, which is what I'm looking forward to from the Steam World team. There's a lot of games that they can show up with. Hellblade better show something.
Yeah,
you teased the hell out of that twice.
Right,
like, you gotta show something.
And the second one was gameplay, wasn't it? Wasn't the second video they did gameplay?
No,
it wasn't. Okay,
I think that might have been that might have been
that was the first one when they was giving it there when everybody got a copy of it. My bad.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, Microsoft has the opportunity to run away with this, but it's one of those things of if you show up another time with CG or another title screen, no one cares.
Nope.
You got to games at this point. Now, Game Pass can only carry you so far.
No cinematics either. I'm not trying to see no more cinematics.
Like, look, if you're going to show a cinematic, you better show a cinematic that leads to gameplay.
Right.
Nothing less.
Exactly. Show me something. I want to know what I'm getting at least this year for my Xbox. That's not just something from the past that's on Game Pass.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, because the fun thing about it is, there's one company that's going to have a whole Treehouse Live 5 hours of it right after they get ready, and that's going.
That's the killer right there.
That's going to steal the show.
Because honestly, Sony's big hitter for this year is supposed to be Grand Theft Auto 5. That's supposed to be their holiday title.
Stupid.
Which makes no sense. But I will give who's a Rockstar.
Yeah.
I'll give them credit. They done sold that game like 10 times.
They got there. That's crazy though, because
on every platform, but the one platform that ain't never had it.
Yeah.
But
they don't
make the most money.
Didn't you say Take-Two has their own
Yeah, they do. But I mean we already know what's not gonna be there.
Right. You ain't go, it's not gonna be something with the number 6 behind it.
Yeah.
Nope. It'll be something with a 2K21
Look, you might get that.
You might
get that in E3 2023.
Right.
If then.
Now, I'm curious though, could we get Bully? Because
that's what I want.
I really wish. But if they're gonna do Bully, then Bully should be on the Switch. It really should, because Nintendo bought that game. People bought that game on Nintendo. It should be on Nintendo.
For sure.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna give them Grand Theft Auto, give them Bully.
Oh yeah, or if Take-Two usually doesn't do this. I think what Red Dead is about the only thing I've seen them remake or remaster per se.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got the Chinatown Wars.
Yeah, Chinatown Wars was actually not bad.
It was a good game.
Wasn't that Game Boy Advance?
DS.
No, DS.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was DS.
DS, okay.
DS. Yeah.
There was one on Game Boy Advance, but yeah, that was the DS one.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, honestly, from Microsoft's standpoint, they got to come out swinging.
And another thing too about Microsoft, I would like to see some variety, not just a bunch of shooters.
True.
I mean,
That's the worst. That's the thing that I hate the most about them.
They got so many IPs under their belt that they don't do anything with.
They don't even know.
They got Cameo. That
Yes.
only came out on 360. Why not make a new game in that series?
Right. I mean, I got a feeling. I have the strong feeling, even though it's not exclusive, I think they'll make it eventually. They're trying to push Super Lucky still. That game has literally gone from VR to Microsoft to getting a whole remaster after the fact. Now it needed it because that game ran horribly, but now it's the new Super Lucky's Tale,
which
game,
ended up on the Switch.
On the Switch, right?
I mean, it's a good platformer. It's just a little linear, but outside of that, like you said, Cameo, hands down, is a game that you can go to with all the transformations, give her new monsters.
Yep.
Everything. It's a perfect setup.
Y'all remember Black and White?
Yeah.
Whatever happened? Like they were sitting there,
disappeared.
Yeah, is the same thing that ended up happening to Fable eventually. Like,
even though Fable's supposed to be coming back, and I'm still worried about that too.
I'm worried about that too.
They're not Nintendo. They're not Nintendo. Like Nintendo's got a bunch of franchises that they can just set aside and be like, okay, we'll mess with those, and those will be big hits when we feel like taking them out. But Microsoft doesn't have that library like that. Like, and they just stick to
the problem that I saw with Microsoft was this. And Trinell, you do have a point. Jet Force Gemini, they should have been on we should have been on 3 or 4 by now.
No, at this point we should have been on 6.
Yeah. But the thing is, they bought Rare, but I think they did it just like Bill Belichick would get a player just so you don't have them.
Right.
So I got this team. I got a list of games that I know can sell because our competitor had them and they were making bank with them. And I want y'all to work on avatars.
But
what?
Again, you look at like movies; they're the same way, right?
Yeah.
You can come with the title, you can kind of come with the premise, but if you don't have the main people on there to give the special sauce on there.
But that's the thing. When they bought Rare, they had the Stamper Brothers there. They had them.
Oh yeah, they had.
And the only team they didn't have was they had lost members of the GoldenEye Perfect Dark team,
right?
Because they went on to make Free Radical, which went on to make Time Splitters. But the core Rareware people was still there, and they put them on avatars.
Yeah, because
like,
I think I saw a video of what they were working on.
Let's be fair.
Awesome game.
Let's be fair. They did have them work on some games, and then they dropped them on the avatars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did y'all do that?
Yeah.
And at least if you're gonna make them work on the avatars, let them work on the avatars and then work on games around the avatars, which is something that they should have done.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
they never did it.
They never did that. Yeah. So I'm hopeful for Halo. I'm hoping Phil got something up his sleeve. I'm hoping he does.
And I'm gonna echo Trinell here, but look, Phil, bring back Blinks the Time Sweeper. Bring back both those games.
Yeah,
and then make a third.
Microsoft's another one, and these are all on the original Xbox. Come
or
on,
buy Jack and Daxter. Just buy Jack and Daxter. Hell,
that would be so sick.
Right?
Just buy Jack and Daxter. Just buy it.
That'd be crazy.
Hell, you're not gonna use it. Buy it.
Oh, you know what? Sunset Overdrive 2. Since y'all ain't giving up the IP.
No, hold on. Did they?
They didn't give it up.
They didn't give it up. Okay.
No, they did not give it up.
Wow. Okay. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, we're getting Sunset Overdrive on PlayStation." Like, you wouldn't have played it no ways. Shut up.
Yeah, you wouldn't have played that.
That game would have came out on PS4, and they still wouldn't have bought it.
No. That screen. That game.
That game screamed Nintendo.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's first of all, it's sarcastic as hell.
Yes.
It's colorful as hell.
Yes.
And they making fun of the shooter genre and the zombie genre and all of. They making fun of all of it. So that wasn't for them,
man.
Bad thing is that seems like a game that would have been made by Rare back in the day.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
Stamper Brothers would have loved that.
Very much so.
Especially with all the fourth wall breaking.
Yeah. I mean, that's to conquer all day. But all right, so Sandstorm, what about you? What do you think? What do you think needs to show up at E3?
Oh man, that's a good question. Y'all were getting on Microsoft pretty heavy, so and it's now Microsoft and Bethesda now. Like it's not just
Microsoft's
Microsoft. ZeniMax, which is kind of crazy because I like Jack said, I definitely wanted Starfield to be that one, just because we don't know really too much about it, and it's one of those games where like I feel like ever since Fallout and like all of that, like the open world genre has kind of expanded to now being multiple worlds, you know what I mean? Ubisoft kind of is getting into that with Beyond Good and Evil 2 and trying to do different planets and all that. And we'll see how that goes. But just if this is their take on that, and what was the other game that was it Bethesda? I don't know if it was Bethesda, but it came for the Switch, Outer Worlds. I feel like this is just kind of that Outer World. Like I want to see a difference between these two games and what make them different, because I'm feeling like this is like our Outer Worlds killer, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like Bethesda really has to come with it, because other than that, I mean, we know Elder Scrolls 6 probably is not going to come out.
They're
probably not going to drop
now.
nothing.
Not
so
right now.
I think other than that, I mean, what else does Bethesda really have? Doom,
and they already dropped that.
They already dropped that.
Yeah.
So why put your name behind Microsoft if you ain't got nothing else to show? So
and it's too late for them to, unless they want to work with Nintendo and do that Doom crossing that everybody been wanting, but that ain't likely to happen now.
Hey, the crossover world could work. I ain't gonna lie, dude. That artwork that came out when
that was dope.
That was dope.
It was.
It's that both the Animal Crossing producers and the Doom producers liked it. They both dude.
Look, that's why I made that video. That discussion about it. I'm like, look, I gave y'all the foundation. Y'all just gotta do something with
it. And I honestly think that people would buy the hell out of that game.
Oh, they would. They would.
Money. Oh yeah.
Animal Crossing mixed with Doom.
Tom Nook. Look, between stages, you get to buy your weapons and upgrades from Tom Nook, and he hustling you. Straight up,
gangster.
A capitalist raccoon.
You want this BFG? What you want to do? You want that? What you want to do?
You want the BFG, right? But I need you to take out like all these demons right here, so I can go excavate that area and get stuff out of there. You don't take them out, I ain't giving you your weapon.
Right,
you do for me, and I do for you.
You gotta pay me back over time, but you can't.
Tom Nook is a mob boss. That's all he is. He's a mob boss.
And fancy clothes. That's pretty much what it is.
Look, he speaks to you nicely. He speaks to you nicely and professionally, but you know if you cross him the wrong way, that's the end of it.
Hey man, he got his nephews with him. You know how they roll.
Yeah. No, those are sons.
His sons. Yeah, his sons with him.
Other light son.
Yeah, shoot, man.
Look, how they do this. His son's just as bad, but they a little bit more direct.
That would be hilarious, though, man. That would just, especially since all those villager serial killer memes that came out.
And that started with Smash.
That started with Smash, but I thought that was hilarious. And then you add that with like Doom and Annabelle, bruh.
Isabel.
You're right. It writes itself.
Look, I volunteer. If y'all need somebody to come up with a story, you need somebody to come up with some lines, I will do it. I'll do it for free. All y'all got to do is tell me you want it.
Hey, and full disclaimer, we love Tom Nook around here. Full disclaimer, we love Tom Nook.
Yes, we do. Especially because we know Tom Nook gonna slap you with his tail, and if anybody know what a tanuki is, you know what that actually means.
Yep.
Crazy.
He said, "Hand me my suit."
Look, Doom guy, I respect you and all, but if you don't clear out that area, we ain't moving this caravan. If we ain't moving this caravan, you ain't getting no new equipment. So make
you ain't gonna survive. You ain't gonna survive.
I am.
You ain't gonna
But
live
you
on
ain't.
exclusive.
Right.
You ain't gonna
Gotta
make
play
it on
so I can go.
exclusive without my help. You know that.
Like, you know we gonna be all right. But you, on the other hand,
This man been hustling islands, whole cities.
Right.
You ain't got nothing on him.
Look,
Island.
my thing is, how you going? How is your character going to be the mayor of a location, and Tom Nook run everything?
Right. Like, yo, you can be the mayor, make some decisions, but at the same time, I'll have some stuff imported in. You just got to buy it from me. You know how to go.
It ain't nothing.
Dude, are you serious? Like, you just made me something I don't want to be, and then you just say, okay, but buy stuff from me too. I'm the only source you got.
Right. Hold on. I'm the only one. You can't buy it from nobody else.
don't let me find out you bought it from somebody else.
Hustler, man. Straight.
I mean, you know how we get down in these Animal Crossing streets.
Oh, bro.
Jeez.
And that was a 10-minute right off there. We probably shouldn't have it. So, but yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Bethesda, I have no idea what they're gonna come with, because really, I think outside of Elder Scrolls, what do they show? Because like I said, Doom came out last year, so you don't have another Doom in the pipeline right now.
Don't they have
a remake?
I mean, they do have the Fallout series, but you would have to expect that they would be making a new game.
People still got a bad taste in their mouth after that BS they pulled.
After 76?
76.
Yeah.
They need to revive that franchise with something else. They got to do something
but-
different, because 76 is not it.
The fans have no one to blame but themselves, because, like I said, this whole having glitches in the game was supposed to be funny. And it's become a
it ain't
staple
funny
of
no more.
Bethesda. Yeah,
it ain't funny no more. So
It was funny until it wasn't.
yep.
Right.
So
It was
all right.
tolerable when you could do it by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You got other people in it.
But the messed up part with 76 was that they blocked fans from fixing the game. Like, that was that was literally the whole reason that people found the glitches funny, because they knew they could fix them, but they stopped them from fixing them.
which didn't make any sense.
I thought you liked these. I thought you liked when somebody flew in the air randomly like that. On the ground. Isn't that cool? It's nostalgic, right?
Thought you liked your character just disappearing from the map.
No, that's what we paid IGN to say. I mean, but nah. Yeah, I had to. But all right, Andre, what about you, man? What you think needs to show up?
Well, for Sony, because they haven't put much out as far as this new franchise and stuff.
Sony
that's right. I'm forgetting.
You ain't gotta worry about it.
Sony's not appearing. They're not making
yours would not come true.
Yeah.
But as far as if we talking just general E3, then going with Ubisoft, they definitely have to bring Beyond Good and Evil 2. They have to show it off.
Everybody on stage doing all that damn crying. Yeah, they have to.
Literally, we know nothing about that game.
Nothing
outside of what Sandstorm said, that they're trying to make it multi-planetary, which is stupid.
Yes,
because the series has been dormant for so long, and now you just try to blow it up.
It skipped 2 generations.
Like y'all need to make sure that y'all bring the game and actually make it playable first, and do it on a lower scale before you try to do something big.
Wait a second. Wait. I just thought of something. Do you think that's what they were trying to perfect in Watch Dogs Legion?
Probably.
To see if it works.
Probably.
I hope not.
Probably.
I hope not. Because that doesn't even make sense.
It don't, but hey. Don't mean they wouldn't attempt it.
But yeah, I mean, when you think about Ubisoft's games, they all kind of share the same little formula.
Yeah,
yes, they do.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, that's not gonna look good.
When does Ubisoft go? And Ubisoft goes Saturday at 3 p.m. So we'll find out Saturday.
I know, right? But yeah, I agree, Andre. That has to be there, because I mean, it's after they announced it. I think we got a CG trailer in a way. Mm-hmm. Then they start speaking about what they had to do, and they were starting to gear up, and so they've been quiet. So
they didn't show any gameplay for that game at all. It was just literally all a production trailer.
Yeah. What's really crazy is that if you look on their website for that game, it like stopped. I want to say even like the news is like stopped back in like 2019, something like
Yep.
that. So it's been quiet, you know. Like they had,
They,
I
they,
feel like they had updates like every other month or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
and then they just
Yeah.
stopped. I'm like, I get that during last year, everybody's stuff got held up. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now everything's back getting into rotation, so they need to say something about it.
Yeah.
And it's not like they couldn't because they had enough time. If everybody else figured out how to work Zoom and Microsoft Teams and Google Meet, they did too.
Mhm.
All right,
Yep.
so everybody learned how to make amends and make it work. So you had time. So you kind of that's one of those games. That one I'd say Bayonetta 3. I'd say
Yep.
Breath of the Wild 2, and
Mm-hmm.
my personal favorite that I hope comes, but I can understand if Nintendo don't show it. Metroid.
Metroid Prime.
Those are the games that are kind of like, okay, look, no matter what happens, we got to show something,
You got
Right.
or we
Right.
got to
Look.
show or say something.
But look, I'm also thinking Nintendo's going to drop. Potentially, they're going to drop a Zelda collection for the 35th anniversary, and I would not be surprised if they did it.
Yeah,
If they did a
like,
complete collection, and just dropped them on the Switch.
That would be dope because now I want to see all them people that claim they love Metroid so much. I need to see them sell figures. I'm gonna buy it. I'll buy it, but
Well, no, I say Zelda, but they could do it for Metroid 2. I would love for
I
them to
need
do it for
yeah,
Metroid.
if they do it for Metroid 2, I feel like that would be like a holiday title. Like
Now, if
you
they're
could
doing a
get
collection now to build up
not
to the coming
collection,
game,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
yeah. If it's a collection, nah.
For me,
they're
I
doing a
Collection, you can drop it
collection
at
just
any
to
time.
build up. Yeah,
I feel like the
But-
collection comes out if the game is closed, and I don't think the game.
Yeah.
So if the game is like
A year out?
yeah,
I
like
think that's
next
what
year,
they'll probably
Bayo.
wait.
So I think that's what they were trying to do with Bayo, and then
Mhm.
it seemed like something went left because they dropped Bayo and then Bayo 2 collection.
Yeah.
And
you're
I feel
right.
like
And
three was
then
supposed to be
we
right
ended
around
up with
the corner.
Astral Chain in between.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be a shock to me now. Another thing I do hope, because Trinell's commented and I was already going to say it.
I know you because that's why I ain't say that.
I was hoping that Project Cross Zone 1 and 2 shows up on the Switch, and then they work toward doing Project Cross Zone 3. Because Monolith Soft has a lot of different titles that they work on. People just act like they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only
They do.
Xenoblade.
And Monolith South just did another big hiring thing.
Yes,
like I
they
want to
did.
say, like what, December of last year, they hired
Yeah.
like another 100 people. So
Yep.
I'm
So they're
like,
growing.
yeah, and we don't know what they work. We still don't know what they're working on. A lot
So
of people, they could be probably working on multiple projects right now.
Yeah.
To be honest,
And
They
that's what I'm
can.
thinking bring Namco Cross Capcom over from the Japanese PS2, actually finally translate that game and bring it over to the US along with
Mhm.
Project Cross Zone 1 and 2, make it a full collection, which would make them bank, and
Right.
then work on the third game.
Yeah, because I mean those games were slept on. For the
hey,
VR.
hey, Capcom, can y'all do a Beautiful Joe collection? I promise you, it'll sell.
It would.
You know,
Just
It's
saying.
the bad thing. It would.
That's crazy.
And Sakurai, I need you to put Beautiful Joe in Smash.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I know one of y'all said put beautiful in Smash.
Put Joe and Wonder Red in Smash.
Yep.
Have them in there together.
That's perfect.
That wouldn't be bad, but
And the final Smash is the T-Rex from
have them come out. Hey Joe, is this what you need to meet? What's my line? What's
my line? so craziness like that.
Like did Joe like turn to page 3? Like
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Having a silly Smash attack, that would be funny. That would be funny though. But honestly, I mean, for sure, out of the ones that you named, Beyond Good and Evil has to be like the main one. It has to, because I mean you've been way too quiet on that game. It to me, and that's the thing, because that comes from me playing the first one and liking the first one.
The first one was great.
It was great. It's just one of those things because like even when I try to play it on emulators at one point in time, it just doesn't work. It doesn't function. But
you have to have the original.
You have to have the original.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't think they have it ready. Truth be told, I got a feeling it's going to be at the end of this generation.
I was saying that. I was saying that when we saw it the first time, I was like, "There's no way this is going to be a PS4 title, like a PS4 Xbox One title. It's not going to happen. And if it happens, it's not going. It's either going to be like the
It's
middle
cross-gen.
towards the tail end, or if
Mhm.
it was going to be like the tail end of the ninth generation for them.
Send it on out.
Mm.
That
It's
makes
definitely
sense.
going to be a cross-gen game. There's no way about that.
For sure.
Mhm.
Give you opportunity to
That's
remaster.
that's their what is that Legion for next generation.
Yeah, I mean, because some of the stuff, and we know this because we done all play games where companies put something out, and then the next thing you know, the gameplay for it goes into something else.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
so it's one of those situations. I feel like that's what's happening with Beyond Good and Evil 2. I think they tried something, they put it in Watch Dogs. Let's see if it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got the engine kind of like we wanted. All right, let's see if we can put it in Beyond Good and Evil. And then the pandemic hit, and that just threw everything off.
Right.
The funny thing about that is, I feel like they did the same thing with Skull and Bones too, because that was like Assassin's Creed all day. They just took the assassin part clearly out of it. And just made a whole pirate game, and
I mean,
that was another one.
They kind of clearly took the assassins out of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, which brings me to a question. The Prince of Persia.
It ain't never coming back. I'm sorry.
That original, they need to, whatever they showed originally, I hope that was just like concept, because originally what they showed looked like hot garbage. I need them to do, because I understand it's a small team with a small budget.
Yeah.
They need to do something, because you're not going to bring something like that back and then have it look and play that way. Like, no, I mean, I got a feeling it'll show up. It's just, I hope it looks significantly different from what it looked like when they first showed it off.
Well, here's the thing, because when they first did that whole remaking the first, I'm like, why y'all remaking just remake the entire trilogy?
That's all you had to do.
Because one, let's keep it 100. Everybody loved that freaking third one.
Right.
The two with the evil version of the Prince.
Right.
Evil version of Prince for Smash. I love that guy.
Also depends on which version. Are we talking the Wii version or the 360 PS3 version?
Yeah, that's right.
GameCube.
I'm talking about for the third game.
GameCube. But that being said, now I never understood that, because like there's another game series that I would love to get like a remaster, because I think it will work. And that's Onimusha, but only the first three.
Ooh.
Because that fourth one didn't make no damn sense. But the first three, just because I'm like, dude, Demon Siege. I love Demon Siege, man. That game was fun.
Didn't they have a remake for the first Onimusha?
For the first one. Well, not a remake. They had like a remaster where they just up-resed it for
So why not do the other ones? I don't understand that.
Even when the third one was clearly the most popular one in the series, and
look, you asking for Capcom to use logic, that ain't going
on. You're right.
The only time Capcom used logic is with Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. They don't even use it with Street Fighter no more.
They tried for a little bit with Street Fighter, then they just gave up.
They're like, look, the evil crowd want this, so just give them what they want. Just give them what they want.
This is stupid. Backfired heavily. But also on the subject of Capcom, because Trinell keep trying to drop little hints. Tatsunoko versus Capcom, because I've been wanting
part 2.
Yo, yeah, that game.
The first one and do a second one. Do the first one to give you some time to build up some money, and do the second one after that.
This what made me mad with Capcom. They dropped it, then go on and use the money from that to bring back
Marvel vs.
Capcom. I'm like, wow, really?
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 sucks in comparison to Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Yeah, that game was amazing.
This is from somebody who has played both of those games.
Because my thing is, he wasn't. Let's keep it real. Like they weren't going to top 2. Like 2 was just too iconic.
Yeah,
had reached that status to the point to where when I was looking for the game at one point in time, that game was $125, $130.
it's more than that
On
now.
top.
It's more than that now. It's like
Mhm.
500-600.
Which is
You
crazy
lucky.
because I mean,
Yeah.
what it came out on Xbox Live Arcade at one point in time, which I still didn't care for it
Yeah.
from that standpoint. But
Plays best on Dreamcast.
yes,
I got it for
does.
Dreamcast, man.
Yes,
Lucky,
Dreamcast.
lucky.
And,
It plays
and my Dreamcast
literally-
finally died.
There's a
It
difference.
literally
Capcom
plays
versus
best.
SNK, all that.
So it plays best on Dreamcast because the Naomi board that it was based off of is the same thing that's in the Dreamcast. So
Exactly.
it was easy port.
Yeah, so, yeah, I would love to see Tatsunoko versus Capcom. That game was freaking amazing. The Wii had some nice fighters on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know people don't want to believe that, but the Wii had some, because I even like Castlevania Judgment.
How did you fight? You just waggled the remote.
Like, nah, I actually played with a GameCube controller. You punk son of. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Look,
sorry.
hey, but waggling the Wii remote and nunchuck actually made sense when you was playing that Wii Sports boxing.
Right.
Because
Yeah, come get these hands.
fights,
Come
those
get these
fights-
hands.
those fights got to be brutal if you was
Vicious.
playing against somebody who knew what they was doing.
Okay, can we keep it real for 1 second? Because I know we have people who love like graphics and all that. I dare anybody, when you're at your next family function, hook up a Wii, put in Wii Sports, and see what happens.
You really could have just stopped right there.
Yeah,
Put in Wii Sports.
Yep.
Everybody could have carried on from there. Like,
because at that
Everybody
point,
swear they the master.
bowling, you finna have to fight your uncle because he swear he better than everybody at bowling.
Where?
Boy, let me show you how to do it.
You don't know what you're doing. Give me that remote.
Mhm.
Hey, what's up, Shadow?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Good,
Doing
man.
all
Yeah.
right.
Doing nothing
So-
but talking smack.
So we are talking about E3 2021. So, sir, since you are okay, okay, look, man, it ain't that
Atlanta.
serious, man, bro. It's not that
Atlanta's
serious.
going out, man.
It's not that
Mhm.
serious,
Time.
man.
Y'all see if y'all can find this, by the way. Apparently, it's very rare. So,
Urban Mash.
it's specifically with that name because they changed it to something else, and there's a number count on how many of them have been made. So,
That sounds like I
Bro,
got
first-
a third out on the way. Bourbon Mash.
apparently, Kentucky has a lock on the name bourbon, so that's why Crown had to change the name.
Wow.
Oh.
So,
Hey, dude.
good old
First of all,
father-in-law putting the knowledge out there, but
first of all, that's not a crown royal if I don't see that purple bag. Secondly,
that's the other thing. It's not purple.
Oh.
then that's not then that's not real crown royal.
Okay.
So watch as my afro expands. But yeah, so we're talking about stuff that we think needs to show up at E3 this year. So we've been through Microsoft, we've talked about Bethesda. What game you think needs to show up?
For Microsoft and Bethesda specifically.
For anybody. Yeah,
Well,
we
since
just
you
going-
mentioned
we
those
bouncing all
two,
over
Starfield needs to be playable. I think. Specifically that I think needs to be playable. Bethesda needs to they need a lot of good PR, especially with CD Projekt Red being bad, and Bethesda is known for bugs as well. So it would be very good for them to show a really good vertical slice of how their engine works, I think. Because at this point, now people are like, yeah, I think we're over loving games for jank, and we're not going to believe the gaming press anymore when they say, it's okay but that it's janky, because it's fun that it's janky. No, I don't think that's going to fly anymore. So they need to have a really good display of what this game engine is going to provide. So if not, then they need to be prepared for the the backlash. But I keep saying backslash. Been playing too much Hades, but
Yeah. But yeah, we talked about Starfield a little bit.
and I see Killer Instinct in the chat, so yeah, that's obvious. And
Yeah.
obviously, I was going to mention it if nobody did. So
I'm about to
it's-
say, that's official.
Yeah.
Well, Killer Instinct, once again, we should be on Killer Instinct 4 or 5 by now.
yeah.
I completely
should.
blame Microsoft for this. We should be on 4 or 5.
But should they do another season or should
No,
they
no,
sequel it?
No, we need a whole new game with some new characters. I don't need to. No, we need a whole new game with whole new characters.
Yes, Killer Instinct 3. Just make that.
Just going to make 3
Yeah.
official. Just official, make an official 3.
Right.
and I wouldn't. I know this is gonna sound like blasphemy a little bit, but since I've seen other companies do it and it worked for them, probably change up the art style a little bit.
Yeah,
because the whole that visual don't really work no more.
They didn't really like people didn't take to that good as well either. They had to make a lot of drastic changes. If they didn't add the classic costumes, I think a lot of people would have frowned on that game. But they came with that really quick, and I think that fixed a lot of.
Yeah, so I think they need to take like a Samurai Warriors approach and just change the art style up completely and just be like, okay, look,
I don't care if it looks cartoony, like
just to say that this is us doing it. This ain't Rareware. This is us.
Now, Shadow, how do you feel about the remakes of like how they look? Because I know coming from the original Killer Instinct and then you look at this new one, there were some character changes that didn't sit well with me. Like
Jago looked horrible to me.
Jago didn't sit well with me.
Yeah,
it was just weird. Like because I'm so used to how they look. This is like that's not.
The classic costume fixed it, I think.
Right,
for the most part, because they were the Killer Instinct 2. Whether it's for Saberwolf, I think he had a Killer Instinct 1.
Yeah.
Wait.
Costume map. I feel so bad for Saberwolf.
Yeah, he looked bad even in his Killer Instinct 1 outfit.
Thunder threw me off. Like Thunder, like come on now. Like all right, cool.
They tried to. They
were trying to make it new and make him look more edgy in a different way.
It just didn't work.
It didn't work out.
Yeah,
the people that like that game like them looking outrageous the way that they were originally. Right. So that's KI1, KI2 style. So. And
I'm just gonna go and tell y'all what they did with Tusk by not having his real theme, and real KI people know what I'm talking about. His real theme,
and you had access legit to an entire 3 separate orchestras and bands, and y'all did the theme for Sadira and Saberwolf, and
you couldn't win.
That was weird to me.
But y'all want to have Chris Hemsworth Tusk. No, I want Conan Tusk.
Conan Tusk. Yes.
Right. With his theme.
That pretty much was it. And the only reason I bit on Killer Instinct is because of the footage of the gameplay. As soon as I saw the game, I said, "Oh, yes." So the feel is still there, and sure enough, it's still there. Like you just watch gameplay footage of it, and you're like, "I don't like how these characters look." And then you watch them fight, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to play this." Right? If you play Killer Instinct, you know what it looks like and how it's supposed to be.
Yep. And I'm going to tell y'all, the only reason why I got it because of Shadow.
I mean,
the only reason I got it. At first, I wasn't gonna get it. I'm like, I told Shadow, I'm like, I ain't getting this game. This ain't Rareware.
I was the same way. I looked and I was like, what were they thinking? And then I started seeing more and more. And then, they had Max in on it. And I'm like, they brought him in. He's going to tell them it's trash. He will tell them. He will tell them it's trash because he's a big Killer Instinct fan too. And he was just like, yeah, this is it. And he started adding, apparently he was adding a lot of his input as far as how the final foreground design looked. So I did like the new design of Fulgor. That was probably the only character out of the initial roster that had a quote unquote new style that worked.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody else looked horrible. Yeah. And I think that's partly because of him. But the feel of KI itself, that was obviously a lot of testing. So if they can just accelerate it just a little bit for a sequel, I don't even really care about new gameplay concepts like trying to add more turbos and all this extra. It doesn't need to be a math equation anymore. I still frown on supers being in Tekken. I'm like, no, that system was good as it was. You didn't have to, and now you're doing all these just counters and all this.
Bad thing is,
it was already complex enough.
Tekken already had supers. They just didn't operate the same way as Street Fighter did, and that's the problem now.
They required precise timing.
Yeah, and then they added Alchemy, and that just
that killed it all.
That blew that all the way up.
But they were already doing that before he was even in there.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But that's when everybody noticed it. Yeah, they noticed it when it.
I think they tried. I think Tekken 4 was when they were trying to add but you had to do it within a certain frame, and you do it within a certain frame, then you get the extra glow. Yeah. And then you charge up specials, but they weren't supers. And then the wall bounce game was another thing where you had accelerated damage if you charged, and then you did wall bounce combos. But Tekken 4 didn't really. A lot of people didn't receive that game well because it was a lot slower. So
and people still playing Tekken 3. Trinell, Killer Instinct did have a great tutorial on the Xbox. He has probably one of the better tutorials of a fighter. Period. Honestly,
Smash Brothers borrowed from that. They went ahead and said, "Hey, look at the entire area. This is where splash damage is. This is our frame counter. You can see." Yeah, they definitely set the standard for how to do a tutorial in a fighting game. Just practice mode in general. Is well rounded.
And they made it
Capcom.
Yes, please, Capcom. Don't make us guess. Like just
and don't make your combo system medium punch, flash kick anymore.
Y'all killing me with this. Okay, so the one company
I can't be killing you with something that's true.
No, you can't.
I could.
You can't.
So is the last company we need to mention Google? So are we more Stadia exclusives? What are we?
Hold on. Before we get to that, we do have to talk about Square Enix and Capcom, because Square Enix goes Sunday at 3:15. They're after Bethesda. Capcom does not have a time, but they supposed to go Monday. I'm guessing it's going to be Monday, probably around noon. I'm guessing. Right now we don't see a time for it. So Square Enix. The only thing I have to ask of y'all is, if you're gonna show Avengers, just show the Black Panther stuff. I don't care about nothing else no more. Just show the Black Panther stuff.
They'll show that, and pretty much, I think with Square Enix, we're going to see everything we've already seen. They knew.
And every version of Final Fantasy that people just want to see.
Have y'all heard the rumor though of what the secret killer app is supposed to be from them?
If it doesn't have the words Chrono and Trigger in it, I don't care.
They're supposedly going to reboot Tomb Raider again.
Why?
They're going to Tomb Raider again. Why? Apparently, that's a rumor in the streets.
Hold on. No.
And it's going to be a completely different game all over.
If they do that,
they're going to do another
trilogy. Pointless.
Are they trying to make like a
gotta sell those next gen copies, man. I don't know what else to.
If they're going to do that, why not just have a new character instead of rebooting? Do a new character that learns from Lara Croft and takes over after her.
Right.
I agree.
They act like Lara Croft is Link.
Or just do the prequel. Just do the prequel. We knew her dad did this stuff.
Yeah. Do the prequel. Let her
do that.
Show that her daddy's Indiana Jones.
It's true.
Or Drake from Uncharted.
See what they need to do.
That would be a hell of a cliffhanger, though.
With that, I actually had an idea for them to do a crossover for Uncharted and Tomb Raider, but I gotta make that video.
Yeah, I meant rebooting.
As soon as you make the video, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Like that would be nuts if they did this again.
If they did that again, that'd be bad. Now hold on, take that back. I think I know why they might want to do that.
Yeah, and there's some patents out there for them
because that movie. They're still trying to make that movie into an actual series with Alicia Vikander.
They only made one, right? With the new,
and they want to make a sequel to that one. So I did read about that on Screen Rant that they were trying to move ahead with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to push out a game, but try to make it so that they can make the world's kind of movie. Yeah, I'm guessing that.
The cheapest way to do that though is just release Tomb Raider trilogy and then just sell that for $70 or whatever for insert guy here. All you have to do is just have IGN give it a 9 and then insert guy here, dude bro will go and he'll buy that trilogy. Period. Unfortunately, that's the way it works.
Or and just work with me here. Lara Croft and Smash.
Yes.
Hey, I agree to that before I would have agreed with Snake.
But here's the thing, though, because we know what Sakurai and his art team going to do. They're going to make it look better than anything that the parent company's ever done. Then Square is really going to be mad.
Well,
they would turn a British girl into a waifu somehow.
Technically, all they would have to do, and people are probably going to hate me for saying this, use Wii Fit Trainer's body and remodel it.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Because you don't have to be my Sharon. Like you don't have to. No. Just be in shape because you're going to
give it guns. And Bayonetta has guns, so they can just give it guns.
Yep. I say troll everybody and use the PS1 version of her.
You know Sakurai would have that as a damn costume.
Yeah. I mean, it's still in all the new games in the 2013 through Shadow of the Tomb Raider that's a skin you can unlock.
Wow.
I mean, I wouldn't do that, but yeah. I know Sakurai would probably do that and make it one of the damn alternate colors.
Look, Steve is in there, so there ain't no excuse.
Yeah, I mean, we know that dude can do some. Him and that team can pull some magic. Yeah, I mean, geez, they can pull magic. So Capcom, Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, at this point.
Well,
if it's not Street Fighter 6, then I need to see Mega Man X. Well,
there is one rumor floating around that Resident Evil Revelations 3 is going to be there, and it's supposed to be for the Switch. Yeah. So there is that.
Would anybody pay for a Mega Man Metroidvania?
Yeah, people have. It was called Mega Man VX.
Yeah,
not. Count well.
It happened.
But it wasn't. How can I say this? On a major title on a home console, given the full sheen and all the other kind of stuff. Like the Symphony of the Night version.
Well, it depends on what company you're talking about getting it. Because if you're going to put this on, I don't see. And I'm not trying to talk about nobody's fan base bad in any bad way or anything, but I just don't see that selling on with the Xbox fan base. I see that probably selling with the PC fan base, Switch fan base, and maybe Sony fan base. Maybe
Sony fan base might get it, especially if you give it to Platinum or and I can't think of the name of the team. What's the name of the team that did the Game Boy Advance and the DS games?
NT Creates
of Castlevania.
That's NT Creates.
You talking about Castlevania? That's
Castlevania. Yeah. That's
wasn't that
which one?
That was just Konami.
It was Konami, but they hired a team to do it, and I'm trying to think who it was.
Are you talking about for like Order of Ecclesia and Portrait of Ruin, or are you talking about for the Aria and Dawn of Sorrow?
For Aria and Dawn of Sorrow.
Aria and Dawn. One day Inti creates Andre.
That might have been, but I don't know. I have to look.
I have to look. But whoever they were, I would say get those guys because they're still independent, if I'm not mistaken.
It was like if you're not going to do them, you could definitely get NC Creates because they did Azure Striker Gunvolt.
Yeah, and they just put a trailer out for Azure Striker Gunvolt 3. I want to say yesterday.
They said internally Konami.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, I had a feeling it was just Konami that did it, and we know we can't trust them with it now.
Konami have not been known to play ball with each other. So
hey, I'm hoping for Konami to make a comeback because I need my game remade. All right,
they're like pachinko machine go. You'll get a golf simulation swing machine.
I need my game just remade. I'm not even asking you to make a new version. Just remake it. That's it. Remake it.
I just want to see Gradius in VR.
That would be cool.
You know, Gradius in 4K, 8K. At this point, 8K. Because why not?
Man, no, 34K. But hey, Trinell, I will say this. I would love for
360p, man. What's up with y'all?
Yes. The only way to play Switch on the go.
I would say Darkstalkers collection would be fun. Breath of Fire, I would love to see that remade though. Breath of Fire, I would love to see Breath of Fire remade like they're doing Dragon Quest 3 in that HD 2D style. I would love to see it remade like that.
It would look beautiful like that.
Do they still have that team though? It seems like Capcom would have to work with Square.
They probably would.
They probably would for that.
Well, they worked with them to do the original Breath of Fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say they worked with them before. Yeah. So
was that Square originally or was that the offshoots? Because remember, Square still at the time they had Tri-Ace, Asmic, and the people that ended up going to Brownie Brown by the.
I want to say it was Square proper because I think Square was the. I think in Europe they released Breath of Fire. It was either in Europe they released. It was the first one that they did the release for, and then Capcom took it over. But I know
I was about to say,
Square
because
proper.
like Tri-Ace made the battle systems for all your favorite RPGs behind the scenes, and they barely ever got credit for it. So it's like, Grandia to, whatever, to Chrono Trigger, everything behind the scenes, they were doing it all, and they were getting like half of the credit. So I don't know if they can still pimp them out or not, because they're still doing a lot of stuff for Xenoblade games right now. So yeah, they're largely uncredited for a lot of their work too. So
talk to Nintendo and it'll happen.
Yeah.
Grandia, I missed that series. All right, so Nintendo, they decided that they wanted to go on the 15th, the final day at 12 noon with the Treehouse to follow. Now, they did say that they're doing a direct, so it's going to be 40 minutes. That's what they say. After that is going to be Bandai Namco, Eureka, and something from GameSpot. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what GameSpot got to do with anything.
I don't know what they got to do with it, probably. But so Nintendo, what I want to see is 2 letters, and I want to see a trailer, and I want to see gameplay in that trailer, and that's MP4, Metroid Prime 4. That's what I need to see. I would like to see that. I would love for them to do a HD remake or remaster or whatever of the Prime Trilogy series, but I know that's been rumored for years, but we don't have any concrete evidence that ever got done. So I would love to see them do that, but I want to see something related to Metroid. I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild is going to be there. I doubt Aonuma would skip E3 without showing something, unless they're gonna have a direct right behind it.
Especially after he said, in that last presentation that it was coming later this year, like some information was coming later this year.
Yeah, I almost got a feeling that we're gonna get the Breath of the Wild 2 with just a little more gameplay trailer than we would get Metroid Prime 4, and then to be honest with you, I think an hour of that Treehouse time is going to at least be for Breath of the Wild 2.
Right. Or they could pull I don't remember which E3 it was, but remember they didn't show a whole lot at their for their E3 presentation, but then the Treehouse had all the different.
Oh, you got all of it. You got all of it.
Yeah. I mean, y'all letting them off easy, because I have a whole list of stuff they need to show.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's hear it. So we talked about Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
We talk about Metroid. They need to show up with.
Yeah.
They need to show up with what is it? They need to show up with something Donkey Kong related. I don't care what nobody says. Donkey Kong has to make a presentation at some point this year,
especially with Retro hiring. Especially with Retro making all them hires.
Right. Like they're I've been saying it for the longest. A 3D Donkey Kong needs another swing. You can't just give it one opportunity and say, well, forget it. We're gonna keep it 2D this entire time.
Yeah.
And Rare did it. Come on now.
Right. Like it was the collectathon era, and then they were the shoehorn for Banjo and Conquer and all that other stuff. So that worked out. I say Mario Kart has to make an appearance at some point. Splatoon 3. You talking about top of next year?
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, they probably
that'll be part of the Treehouse. So that's what I'm worried about. I'm wondering. I think they should still do the traditional stuff that they did at E3 2019. I think like starting Monday, fuck what everybody else is doing. We're doing a Treehouse live at 1:00, and we'll be doing this Treehouse live all the way until 5 while all the other E3 stuff is going on. So stay on our channel or whatever, and it'll be every single game that they're pimping for the summer. And then the last day of E3 or whatever will be all the games they just showed you during the reel.
Right. Exactly.
I really think they should do that, because you got to get the Mario Golf and the No More Heroes 3 and all that stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
You do.
I mean, you got Pokemon that's right there with it.
Yep.
Arceus, they got it.
Arceus right behind there, because that's in January. They got a lot of games they have to show off, like, because Nintendo,
I don't think 40 minutes is enough.
That's what I was just thinking.
I think that's they say it's going to be for games that are coming out this year, but I kind of think that half of that is a lie, and that they're going to treehouse everything that's going to be due in the summer or the fall.
Yeah.
And then everything for the end of 2021 and beyond is going to be in
the trailer
in the 40-minute. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I really want them to show something for Pokemon Legends because I'm tired of people just assuming
my
it's going to be like
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
We don't know anything
It's going to
about the
be
game.
different. It's just going to be open world,
Yeah.
but it's
You
still
know,
be.
you know what? I've had a thought about that, and I think there's going to be backlash and it's coming. But if you look at the story of what we know right now, it only makes sense. Is that we've been getting a lot of people have been complaining about how that full Pokédex is not there.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you watch Arceus or Arceus, whatever, and you know that it's before the events of pretty much every single Pokemon
Everything.
that's around,
Yeah.
all the technology is not there. So it only
Right.
makes sense that all the Pokemon
It's
won't
not going
be
to be
there.
full.
But you know that's going to be the first thing that they end up complaining about. Was everybody there?
Which
Did
would
we get
be
them
But they
all?
seem to hint at a different legendary being available that you're going to
Yeah,
find.
they did, dude. They
Yeah.
did say that.
So before legendaries were even a thing. So
Right.
like, yeah. So I wonder how that's going to go.
I mean, this island is a mixed bag because even the professor brings a mixture of starters. So I mean, to me, on paper, for me, it sounds bare bones. I just like the concept, but it sounds kind of bare bones because honestly, when you take away the technology of Pokemon, you take away the trading, you take away everything that is Pokemon, the Poke Centers, all that. Like, how do you do this?
Yeah.
Well, if you Skyward Sword in this, that's probably the perfect thing to play with.
True.
Because that's pretty much from a story perspective, they Skyward Sword in this, where they basically say, okay, look, this is the very first thing in the Pokemon universe.
Technology is limited. No fast travel for you.
Right.
So that means now you actually get to go out and actually explore and do all this stuff, and you get to see the Pokemon and actually have those crazy battles that we want you to have that will lead into the craziness that happens with Mewtwo and his psychotic behind.
Well, let me ask y'all this: would you be okay with it being just flat out single player?
Yeah.
I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Because it seems like it's just a lore building game anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the build
and even
story.
then, anyway, it's not like you couldn't export stuff that was in there and still trade with people. Like that could be completely separate of you playing by yourself.
And look, we all know the Pokemon company's gonna find a way to get you to use the Pokemon to something else.
Yeah,
y'all gonna.
And you don't even have to
trading
battle,
in this
especially
game.
if they make it a separate game. Like,
Yeah, you don't. I mean, that's why they keep the other main series alive. But
Yeah.
outside of that, like I feel like even though they haven't named it, they got to finish this Wii U project. They have to finish this Wii U port project. There's at least 2 or 3 games that's still floating.
Yeah, we're not gonna get X.
One of them was supposed to be Stadium HD, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know how they're gonna. So Stadium HD sounds like the perfect, solution to a lot of that stuff as far as multiplayer goes. Because throw them in Stadium and then go from there and then bring everything back.
Yeah, I'm looking more towards Sony. I mean, not Sony, but Nintendo more than anything. Like Microsoft, we mentioned those one-offs, and I mentioned a few here and there.
I think Microsoft got the biggest chance of wowing people though, because they got a lot of studios and they got a lot of stuff that's pending right now.
It's easy to wow when you ain't showing shit, but it's like I mean, you kind of have to. But it's like, and then also with Sega, that little stunt they pulled at the end of their presentation, I kind of want to see what this new game is. At least show me something. Give me something.
Sega would win for me. They would win E3 for me if they just say, you know what, we're making PSO and MMO for every platform. I will be done if they just say PSO2 is available on everything. Go.
They should have done that in the first place.
They should have done that.
It's available on everything in this crossplay.
A lot of things they should have done, but I mean, for me, like honestly, because did the Sega have a time slot or no?
Let me look. Give me a sec.
I think they don't, because that's why they did the Sonic anniversary thing.
They're not showing anything on this list that I have, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be there at some point.
Their stuff is gonna be among everybody else's.
Right.
Let's put it this way: they would be just above Kensha Hall if they could buy a booth.
Right.
This year, so they're kind of. They might have a couple of videos.
And like Dennis said, I almost forget, Bayo has no excuse not to be there. I don't care about pandemic. I don't care about scheduling. I don't care about timing. We already know
Nintendo at this point, though. More
that's Nintendo. Yeah, that's all Nintendo. And I understand they got the scheduling thing going on right now because they have a lot of games that's on the back burner. And we get it. We get it. But at this point in time, you already showed.
You gotta say something about it.
So now you have to say something. You shouldn't have said nothing in the first
place. It is very possible that Bayonetta 3, Pokemon 4, Xenoblade Chronicles X HD, Xenoblade 3, a Golden Sun or what have you. I saw that in the chat as well. It's a good chance that a lot of that stuff is there. Mario Odyssey 2 is just scheduling at this point.
Right.
And, polishing it up.
I know Kamiya did make that. That's why he kept telling people to calm their nerves about Bayonetta, because he's like, look, man, it ain't on
We're
us.
Good.
That's Nintendo. Yeah.
Because I kept telling people, like, look, ain't nobody canceled nothing. Because people kept saying it was canceled. I'm like, where did you read that at? Kamiya hadn't said it was canceled. Nobody at Nintendo said it was canceled. So
that's how X got so good. While they were waiting on cert, because there are themes in that game that could have made Xenoblade Chronicles X rated M, right?
Yeah.
So while they're waiting on cert, they're just like, well, we already finished this game that's got over 120 hours worth of content in it, especially a post game. Let's add DLC too. So now there's DLC content in the game or what have you. And they're like, you know what? We got a little bit of extra time. They're still waiting on telling us, we plan for this game to come out in 2014. They're telling us end of 2015. You know what? We'll do a patch now. You know what? You can download this game. You can download 1 gig of this game so you can store it locally on your flash so it makes loads faster. Like they had all the time in the world to add everything. So it's just, it can be a plus for gamers depending on how long they delay stuff. And Nintendo is always in competition with itself. So Mario Golf sitting here waiting. You got all these other games waiting, especially with 2020 being the way that it was. All that did was push everything back that was already going to be pushed back anyway because of scheduling conflicts. So, Nintendo Switch might be getting games a good 4 years after whatever its successor ends up being on the market. I believe that. I believe that strongly.
It should. I mean, to me, a lot of people played the wait and see game, which now they're making up for it. And then you had those that was just trying to get what they could out of the platform and try to figure it out how to work it. EA had their own thing, but
EA is finally deciding that it's time to put some games on Nintendo's platform. Finally,
because they want to make money.
Watching 2023. Watching 2023. Madden releases for the Switch. Bet money.
That's how you miss. Because when you got fans and stuff like that, especially people who are Nintendo fans, and you like those games, bet I won't buy it because you took too long to throw it out. Bet I get it somewhere else, or don't get it at all because I'm not supporting that.
Yeah.
Like,
people are buying games twice to play them on the Switch. I know I'm one of them.
Think about that for a minute. Like,
I got PS4 games I'm buying for Switch.
If it could really like cross saves, if it was really a thing with EA, if I was playing Madden on my Xbox Series X, and then you tell me all I gotta do is be connected to my EA account, and I can now take it portable with me. And of course, please change the style.
Yeah, that would have been
that game I don't own 2 copies of. That game that I apparently don't own on PS4. You just sign into the servers and
but that's the thing with companies like EA, Ubisoft, even Capcom. They have their own services that you can log into on every device. So you should be able to put those games on every platform and transfer your data.
Exactly.
I'll put it this way. This studio is very small, and they were able to do it with their game, which is considered an indie game, even though they're technically a bigger studio. Hades has what you would call transferring. I play it on Steam, and I finish, and I play it on Switch. And I just came from a vacation or whatever. I didn't bring my Switch with me. My wife brought her Switch. Guess what I did? I went and I transferred my save to her Switch, and I played it. And then I'm like, hold on, the Switch that I'm the save that I'm downloaded wasn't from my Switch. It was actually from my PC. So how do you? Come on, man, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. It's a seamless experience no matter where you are. So,
but that's a problem though. Sports games need it the most, but don't have it.
Right.
So I mean, especially when you look at it, EA, this is an opportunity for them to kind of take the sports genre on the Switch because let's be honest, 2K is not doing a great job. But
but a lot of people are playing it on mobile phones though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if they could take what they're doing on mobile, just fucking around, sitting on the toilet or whatever, and throw that on, when you're playing on PS4 or Switch or whatever, like, come on, man, it's
no excuse. They got it.
They missing money all day.
Hey man, some people are still allergic to money. I mean, anonymous senior engineer. Never mind.
Bob Summerwell, we talking about him again?
But you mean the same
Oh, the
engineer
Wii
that
U
talked
CPU is
about-
crap. You have a program for it? Nah.
While
Like-
the team that was working on Frostbite said that Crisis 3 was running beautifully.
Crisis was running.
It was
Which
running.
now
I want to
EA,
find. I want to find it. I want to find the ROM.
I really wish they put it out there, but now EA is finally listening, and they're going to put the Crisis trilogy on the Switch.
Yeah,
And I'm so mad at myself I didn't make that video when I was thinking about it.
And to be fair, it's going to be worse than the Wii U version because the Switch can't. It runs off a battery, and the Switch can scale up because it's plugged in all the time.
Well, look, man. Look, once you sell 60 million, I mean, at that point, I mean,
Might as well.
I can port. I can port anything.
Yeah.
I can port anything once you sell 60 million.
So that's the downside to having the newest hardware. So like Switch is obviously the newest hardware between, because it's 9th generation. So you're comparing it to 8th generation stuff. Like the CPU is better. It has faster RAM and all that kind of stuff, but it runs off of a battery. So it's going to be held back, and you can't do peak load on it. You can't put 200 watts on the Switch. If you could, it would easily exceed what Xbox One and PS4 could do. But it doesn't. It's at 11 watts. So you're not going to be able to get the same amount even than what the Wii U could do at 75. So like it's a give and take type of relationship, and the portable is so good and seamless. Quick resume is so good and seamless. It really doesn't fucking matter. Like I don't care if it's 360p. If it means that whenever I go and put it on my TV, it's 720p or 1080p or whatever, and it's a smooth transition. So I really think that a lot of people underestimated this because they looked at, it's only 32 gigs of flash and all this other kind of fuck shit. Instead of looking at, Nintendo got it. Like they got it. They took the shield and said, let's make it the ultimate console, and went from there. Like they really didn't see the writing on the wall. Like Sony was like transferring this, transferring that, and it's so complicated and only worked for this game and that game, blah, blah, blah. And Nintendo's just like, let's take the Wii U and do it in reverse.
Yep, that's basically what they did.
And that was it. That was it. There was no other, I think Sony and Microsoft were really kicking themselves when they didn't do the same. When they could have.
Yeah.
They could have easily done the same. They could have just said, hey, here's the new smart glass phone. Also, every game that you play on it will upgrade whenever you sync it to a Series X or what have you. Like, they really hate themselves for that. Because they could have sold a lot of Nokia or whatever partner they used for Windows phones at the time. And Sony is as well, because they had their own, they had Ericsson. They could have done the same thing, or with PSP as well, where they just say, you know what, dock your PSP here. Instead, they made a PSP Go, and it's like, what are you even really doing here? Like, that's a Game Boy player, bro. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do.
So we do have a question. FJ, do you think EA will renew the NFL license when it comes to EA? Yes, they will.
They have to. Sega is waiting. 2K is waiting.
The reason why I say that is they still make a lot of money off that NFL license. They make a crap ton of money, and if they don't renew it, guess what happens? They lose a lot.
Look, and not just with gaming too. Like EA, ESPN is paying them. They do TV shows with Madden. Like they stand to lose a lot of money by not renewing that license.
That's why you finna see college come back.
But they messed up this year, though. They messed up with this game this year, though.
They did.
Even though they had all this presentation, they had all these celebrities playing the Super Bowl, playing, the little thing. That game was messing up on footage.
Yeah,
like it was messing up, and then now you have dedicated YouTube channels pointing out the problems in Madden, including having NFL players come on saying, well, that coverage ain't correct. That player's not supposed to do that. That's not supposed to be, like you said, 2K just waiting, just salivating. Just
2K, here's what 2K is like, we already showed y'all what we did back in 2005. And then, and we sold it for $19 as the biggest FU, the second biggest FU in gaming. The first one is Switch. The first one is Switch. But the second biggest FU was what 2K did to the entire sports thing was selling NFL 2K5
$20
for $20, and it was way better than Madden at what 49.
It hurt though because they still sold NBA 2K for the 50. I was like,
no, but they was trying to make a point with that. They was trying to make a point with that NFL one. But I think what's going to happen is because ESPN and NFL are going to give that thing to EA first because that's who they're comfortable with.
Right.
That's why I deals with them and their lawyers.
Yeah. So that's why they're probably gonna stay with them. EA knows this. Now 2K on the other hand, if I'm 2K, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna send my people in there and be like, look, y'all see what your players are saying. NFL, you see what your players are saying, and some of these players actually own esports teams. Y'all want to get into this, so you might want to come up off that. So it's gonna take 2K's team of lawyers to actually come in and try to.
This ain't fair.
There's nothing they can do because honestly, we just have something happen this year that's going to go against EA, and that's what just happened with the MLB and Sony.
Yep.
Well, the reason why I would normally agree with you because I thought that whole thing with Arian Foster back in 2014, 15 when they first got rid of college because of the whole college scandal about them.
But that needed to happen though. They still won't pay them boys.
Yeah, but I was just saying though, you would have thought that would have severely hurt it. It didn't.
Well, and I'm not saying that it hurt it because honestly, had MLB not have gone to Xbox, it still would have sold what it sold. But what I'm saying is when you look at, 2K is on damn near everything. And then you have it to where everybody has access to that NBA license. It's just they keep messing it up, i.e. EA. But then you look at the NFL and it's like, okay, we only have this to EA. Can we try to get more money by having these other companies do it, and we just kind of set guidelines so that way they don't overdo or do something we don't.
But are they going to split the difference on the license though? And that's where the NFL comes to an issue. EA is willing to foot the whole ass bill, and Sega is like, nah, not really. And they're like, well, you got to pay 50% since both of y'all are developer, both of y'all are publishers.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't know what that price point looking like. I really don't. Yeah,
definitely increased.
EA is like, we spent all this money on them, so we'll give you like 25% of a game next year. We'll give you the whole thing for 2020 for 2000. What game was it? Madden 25. Right after, so Madden 25 was the start of the reboot of the engine, right?
Yep.
And then obviously the year after that is when they actually made it better. But so they go lazy like that because they have to pay for that license every year. And they're like, well, we'll spend money on development after we get the upgrade of this engine done. And then they go from there. So like 2 years after they do a redevelopment is probably when you should buy the game. But nobody ever skips them because I have 3 versions of Madden 25 in my house. I don't know what else to tell you, but it's just, that's how my house goes, unfortunately.
It's a very interesting conundrum because you need competition actually helps grow stuff, and when it was Madden and 2K going at it, the gamers are the ones. The gamers are the ones that benefited from it.
Yeah. So it goes both ways, but at the same point in time, it depends because Ken Griffey Jr. was great. MLB The Show was great. Triple Play has been trash for a long time. So, but I really think that EA is better with the licensing on that, as far as the players, the marketing, the advertising. Yes, they are, but the gameplay is fucking trash. So I don't like the show got it perfectly.
Oh yeah, to the T.
Ken Griffey had it good on N64, almost twice, but that didn't happen because Rare and whatever issues they had going on. So it's possible that, Nintendo, especially since they own the Mariners then at the time, that they could go about of taking the MLB license to the next level. The same could be said of Sega if they got the same part of it. And then Sony really owns it now because the show is just like, that's the thing. If you want to play a baseball game, the show is it. Really.
MLB The Show.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah, there's nothing really close to that right now. Like the last thing close to that was King Griffey. So like EA just really has to find a way to, and unfortunately what they'll have to do is say, hey, look, we know y'all used to develop for Nintendo and we took y'all away from Nintendo, but Tiburon, what we're gonna have to do is make y'all our premier studio over here just for baseball, and we're gonna have our have team just do updates for NBA whenever we decide to get live back and Madden, and we'll do roster updates and we'll add tweak to the gameplay or whatever. We won't do any major changes until you guys are done with MLB. So we need y'all to remake Triple Play for us and make it good, because Tiburon is the only team that can do it for EA. Unfortunately, and when it comes to drastic changes, it's just them.
Yeah, when Tiburon
and they over here making Burnout games and shit. Like they just don't care. Whatever new project they'll take on and they'll make it good. So it's really just them.
Yeah. That's the sad thing about, and I think that's why a lot of people hate EA, because like EA, if you go back EA 5th and 6th gen, EA was the shit.
That's what I was just about to say.
Desert Strike.
When you look at EA from the sports standpoint, something happened between the PS2 to the PS3 360 era. And something happened. But for me personally, I think it was them trying to go a little too simulation, too realistic. Because if you look at your lives and your Madden at that time, yes, it was supposed to be simulation, but it was still loose. And now they're trying to be ultra serious and adding stories. Now, granted, I blame Sony for that, because when people don't give credit enough to Sony for that whole story-based situation when they had the NBA games, because they started doing that. The life is what they were calling it at the time. But
the life,
So I mean, honestly, when EA was just kind of being loose with it, you could run stupid fast, do them crazy spins from one end to the field to the other, and the basketball games were real loose too. It was a good game. But then the 360 shows up. I have Dwayne Wade sweating and hasn't done anything. My players' arms are down to their kneecaps. I'm like, what is it's just crazy. Madden says that, this is what McNabb is going to look like when you play this game, and it looks nothing like McNabb. So it's just like,
can I speak to the chat real quick?
So,
Trinell, first of all, yes to what you just asked. Yes, that's exactly what it is as far as you reverse. Second of all, LJ is talking about show them with your wallet with regards to EA.
That's never gonna happen.
So the problem is with this industry is, unfortunately, it's just like news media. What you do is there's an endless cycle of information that's being propagated and reused for the purposes of consumerism for the most part. If the only source of information is the people that are trying to sell you shit, you're going to take that information and then say, okay, I need to buy this then based on said information, versus independent information that says maybe you should not for these reasons or whatever. If those people are bought out or shunned or blocked or in any other way demonetized or whatever, then there's no way for you to know, so you can have the mass movement to say, hey, show them with your wallet and block them. If every time they turn on ESPN, they have a contract with EA, and EA is like, Madden is the shit, you should buy it every fucking year. They're never going to boycott it, because every time they turn on their little idiot box, it tells them buy Madden every year.
And then let's add on to that. When you talk
about that is a okay. Go ahead.
When
it's an endless cycle, but
when you talk about that in itself, when you look at Madden, let's keep it a buck. Those of us, we're the minority. So there's cats that buy consoles just for Madden, just for 2K, just for Call of Duty. They could care less.
I just said it. Hashtag Dude Bro Express.
Right. It's like literally the moment that they hear there's a new Madden. All right, forget my girlfriend, forget my wife, forget my kids. I'm going to go get Madden, and then I'm coming home, and that's what I'm playing exclusively for the whole year. They could care less, because honestly, they feel like there's nothing wrong with Madden.
Yeah, even though we can show them that there's a lot wrong with Madden, but
especially Madden 25 could be a 2-hour video by itself. Just Madden 25.
There is also the huge conflict of interest that EA broadcasters do the play-by-play in Madden.
Exactly.
That's a conflict of interest like a mug.
That is a huge conflict of interest.
Well, here's something too. Like y'all brought up MLB The Show, right? I was watching the Hawks game earlier today, and on ESPN, and I had to flip to ESPN for something. I go to ESPN, and they have their ESPN baseball
crew
actually inside the MLB The Show commercial.
Yep.
At that point, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know what this is.
That's embedded, man.
It's all tied in at this
Yeah.
point.
I just want y'all to know all gamers at large shameless plugs are done in camera mode. They aren't done. They aren't done via advertiser. Just so y'all know, we just do our shameless plugs based on shit that we touch.
But I mean, on top of that too, I mean, there's something that happened with this Madden. EA went out their way, purchased a whole bunch of games, sent it out to influencers, and then now they're telling you there's nothing wrong with the game. So if I follow you, if I say, Jay, you have my taste of gaming, and they paid you to play Madden and say it was good, I'm going to go cop Madden.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not gonna say that, so they're not gonna pay me. But I'm not gonna say that, so they're not gonna pay me. Yeah, they're gonna make me pay for the game, and then I'm gonna get mad. Then I'm really gonna get mad.
Yeah, and then that's Gershman Gate, because now you're gonna get fired, or you won't ever get the game again from them. You won't ever get a review code.
And if they tell me they will never give me the game, I'm like, thank you, Jesus, Lord, thank you.
I tell people,
thank you for watching over me.
I tell people, when you look at life in general, not to get too deep into political nonsense, it's in gaming. Like, let's give it there's some things that you can influence. There's some things you just can't touch. And EA has been around long enough to where they can't be touched.
No.
Unfortunately. How many times have they got the worst place to work for like the past 5-6 years?
It's happened.
Copyright lawsuits. The lawsuits from NCAA players, the Players Association, like.
Leave it alone.
And they get away scot-free.
Ignore it. Just ignore
it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Ignore it.
Look,
he's not there.
You invited her.
She's not there.
I mean, is there and then we got Sandstorm in here too, so it's like extra. Just look. So what we need to do is so this doesn't happen. Just invite her and force her to be here.
I got an answer for this. AEW is making a game that will fulfill that need for you.
All
you got to do is wait for it to come out. That's it.
I mean, and then you can watch you can watch your boy in real time if you want to, because he AEW Dark right now, but he'll soon be on the 8:00 show.
Which that's why I got Ukes was at E3. I was hoping Ukes was gonna be there,
but I got a feeling we're gonna see something
before then. Yeah,
no, I just got a feeling we're gonna see something at E3, because the problem is with this list, this list that they got, a lot of stuff don't have times, so it's not like they just like for instance, Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest thing, right? That's June 10th. They don't have a time for it. It's just there. So I mean. There's and on top of that, they haven't done anything this month for their thing. You know, they always do something every month,
right,
for their game. So
2 point show.
I can't imagine them not. But I will. That is one game I'm really looking forward to, is the AEW game, because I want a Stadium Stampede and and Arcade Anarchy.
Without saying anything, I think that game is going to be the No Mercy redemption we've needed for a long time.
I truly think within my heart that Kenny Omega is probably the greatest thing that has happened to AEW. I'm so glad that that he is part of that outfit, because he's able to give a point of view that
he is a gamer.
Yes, exactly. Like true as like he plays fighting games, he plays other games. Like he knows what to do. He knows what it looks like. He knows what right looks like. So, I really think that with him being there, that ups the competition. Like WWE got to look out,
and the resources that he has.
2K got to look out. Like,
I mean, they should
WWE screwed themselves over when they stopped letting their superstar personalities do public, streaming and stuff like that. They screwed themselves over on that.
And
because AEW don't care.
At that point, AEW was like, hey, they all on Twitch.
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
They getting it in. They on social media, they on Twitter like a mud, showing screenshots, videos, like.
But to what FJ just said, gaming is doomed. I think the front runners, they're kind of doomed. Because like honestly, when you look at like who's been the front runners of gaming for a minute, where you look at the shooters from the Call of Duties, you got the Battle Royale with Fortnite, you got the Maddens on football because they're the only ones there. 2K, like there's only so much they're going to be able to do, because at one point in time, there were games in that plays back on the 5th and 6th gens that were a day one cop for a lot of people. But I mean, these indie games are right around the corner. They're making AAA games and whatever you want to call that. But honestly, at this point, I don't know. Like for me, I think gaming community on Twitter has been doomed. But
that's a
but as far as gaming as a whole, I think we're coming to a point to where it has to hit a refresh because they're going to start seeing these graphics can't just do it by themselves.
Well, you got to remember, Iwata said this back, and I'm gonna keep going back to this. Iwata said this back in 2005. You can't sustain it, and it's coming. It's coming true.
It's coming to a head.
It's coming true. So,
shout out to Real 2 of you in the chat. What's up, Rob? What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, what's up, Rob? So, man, we are way over. So, so before we get out of here, what I wanted to do is say we do have guests planned for the weekend shows. We do have guests planned for the Nintendo one because Nintendo hates me and they want to do this on the day I go back to work. So, but we're still gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
We'll make it work.
We're gonna make it work. And yes, Vicky, you are going to be on one of those shows.
The best troll. The best troll ever.
My name.
Why is he doing this? Okay.
He's the best troll.
That's why he's doing it.
You got to answer the question, man. You got to answer the question. You got to do it.
Why? Why would we do that?
No. We ain't answering that question.
It's a recent question in Twitch gaming, so yeah.
That question.
Look, even though we are going to be, we're going to start next week. We are going to be hosting on our YouTube and Twitch channel. Vicky, we're not doing that.
Vicky,
let me help out real quick.
OnlyFans. That's what she wants. She wants the OnlyFans right now.
Wow.
What is going on? This is nuts.
Some of y'all could do that. I mean, Jay could do that. He can do it real quick.
No, dude. I had to get out of you, Shadow. Shadow, that's you, dog.
I'm not available. I got a Mrs. Shadow Fox, and she also has the same katana. So
Sandstorm got the build, so he go ahead and do the stream she's talking about.
This is all fake.
Oh, you got some SpongeBob arms.
But no, we're not doing any hot tubs. We're not doing any baby oil. We're not doing it. We are going to be doing rum and probably Crown Royal and probably Hennessy, but we ain't doing that
for the show too.
Hold on, shout out to the fake bag on deck.
Probably gonna have a rum for some of these shows next week. I'm probably gonna need it. But all right, people, we done went about 30 minutes over. Have fun tonight. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for joining, especially you, Vicky. And so before we get out of here, Game Idea Guy, anything you want to pimp out?
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if it'll pop up when I do this. Here you go. Just proof right here.
Of what?
Did it pop up on the screen?
No, I didn't see it.
No, share it up.
That's what I'm trying to do. Never mind. It don't want to do it.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, it was popping up. I just didn't hit the right button. That's my fault. Hold on. This is what I'm trying to share. Right here. We're going to show proof.
There it is.
Yeah.
Show proof that I had these and these are scrapped. Stuff that I had
crisis.
See?
Yeah.
But hold on, one other.
Just don't publish it because then it's gonna be real.
One other one to show that I don't lie to people about what I be having. If it'll pop up. See the date on there? See them dates?
Yeah.
Way back. I was thinking about that.
Oh yeah. 2016.
And people say and my sources are better than that of certain other people in the gaming industry.
Your sources ain't better than
my journalists.
Say that. All right.
So but I got my videos coming out. I got stuff uploaded. Just check my channel. You'll see stuff. And do got another game idea foundry talk coming up. Was going to be me and Jack going over one of his ideas. I just got to set the date because people on my polls ain't helpful because y'all gave me a split decision. Thank you.
That's my fault.
Hey,
I gave y'all
I said
4
more.
choices.
I said more.
No. I'm talking about the date and time.
Oh.
I gave y'all 4 choices, and y'all somehow still gave me a split.
I think I said Saturday night. I think that's what I did. I think Saturday night was what I picked.
Well, I got 2 for doing Friday and 2 for doing Saturday at different times, and then 4 that said I don't care. Just do it.
I'll tell you now, that was not me.
So y'all still left me. Y'all still left me with a split decision.
Just do them. I don't care when you do them.
Okay. All right, Shadow.
No, Vicky, and I'm actually wearing those right now. That's the first thing. Second of all, me and Game Idea Guy, we're gonna get together, man. I got to do a shadow cast at some point, but I got a little personal things going on right now. But as soon as I get my time together, you will be my first shadow cast in the last couple of weeks. I do want to kind of get I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Jacoby. I can't think of his name right now, but I can get him back on too to do a shadow cast as well. We'll do a little talk regarding the state of gaming industry or whatnot. And I put out an interesting tweet earlier this morning, and I noticed that there were not a lot of replies, just a lot of likes. So I must have been telling the truth there. But it is kind of interesting. It's a little bit interesting how you can just shape the minds of people. And they just believe whatever, and they'll instantly say, "Hey, this is the new standard because what?" And they won't say exactly why or how they got it from because they're embarrassed to say. So I'll be talking about that. I wanna shoot the stuff with my fellow people from the Wingin crew, and we'll get it together at some point so we can sit down and hash it out. And I do still have that video coming as well for the Switch Pro. And we already know that I'm right at this point. You see what's happening the past week and what's going to happen this week, and the usual suspects are nowhere to be seen.
Wait, Shadow, what's going to happen? Tell us.
Just refresh Twitter, and then you'll see the crickets. That's all that needs to. That's all you need to see. Like it's just common sense at this point. If you follow technology, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
really, that's true.
And that is what it is. And I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong. And then Nintendo comes out of the woodworks and say, "Hey, we're doing this." I'll be like, "Okay, that's great. How did y'all do this without, I don't know, creating a brand new SDK for developers to download and then they have games ready for you guys?" Like, that kind of stuff. But that's not happening right now. So how could it be possible? So, it is what it is. We'll chop it up. We'll do what we do on the next Shadowcast coming soon to you. So that's all I got.
All right, cool. Jack.
I'm just in full album mode at this point, man. A lot of long nights. So be on the lookout. I did have a date set. It's November 13th. For the album. It's my youngest son's birthday. So that's given me enough time to get my OCD self in check to where I'll be finding little sounds and I'm like, nope, I need to go back and tweak it. So everything has been set. The album order's been set. The cover art's been set. So now it's a matter of promo and then get ready for release.
All right, cool. Sandstorm.
We have like Trey Vito said in the comment section, we got a video coming soon. My co-host. So later this week as well. I think I'm gonna decide. Everybody's talking about bingo for E3. I think I'm gonna do a little bingo thing for E3. What comes right? What's right? What's wrong? I think that'll be pretty interesting for people on the channel. Other than that, I'm be keeping in touch with y'all and see what monotony y'all coming up with. So,
oh boy.
Now we trying to follow your channel, man. You blowing up, you getting there. You doing what you do.
I appreciate it. So yeah, other than that, just excited for this upcoming week. Baby Sandstorm's birthday is on the 12th, and ironically, that's the start of E3. So
hey, I love you, son, but you got to share something real quick. We'll celebrate you early in the morning. Let me go ahead.
Right. So yeah, that's about it.
All right. So, couple things before I get out of here. Yes, Rob, you will have a shot with us, especially because I think
Definitely.
we're trying to get you on next week for one of these presentations. So yes, you will be
He got to
having
bring
a shot
crown.
with us. Yeah,
You got to find that one though. You got to find that one.
you ain't got to
gotta
do
find
that.
the burning
You ain't got to do
mash.
that. Just go with some rum, vodka, whatever.
Whatever
But
And no
gives you
jumping
that.
jacks.
and Vicky, we're not doing jumping jacks.
She's about sweatpants and gym shorts. Like,
I'm lit.
Yeah. And they white, not gray. But anyway.
She tried to
Yeah,
change up the
yeah.
whole thing.
Grass.
Vicky, you
So-
ain't gonna have my woman killing me. No.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. Like she got the katana just like I do, and a 22. Like you trying to
Simultaneous
murder,
women just
That's
beating
some
up on
bullshit.
everybody on the cast.
So be on the lookout this weekend because like I said, we're trying to have some fun with some guests coming through and all that good stuff. And the alcohol will probably be flowing because we'll probably be pissed. But that being said, I did do a quick little housekeeping video earlier today. Check that out. I'm gonna be adding some stuff to my Fresh Take reviews. So be on the lookout because that's gonna start pretty much next week, the week after. Also, check out next Sunday, 10 a.m. We're gonna be live with Vicky, Sandstorm, myself, and hopefully we can have Mrs. T drop in because that's gonna be my cast for the Loki reviews. We're gonna be doing those every week, every Sunday at 10 a.m. So check those out, and we will see you guys this weekend. Peace.
Peace.
E3 time. Let's go. Let's get